What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Plain Jane Cars. And this is a Plain Jane Cars podcast. What's up, Tristan?
Hello.
We took a little break.
A little, yeah.
Moment of truth. We actually recorded a podcast last week, but I messed up the audio. And as you can see, if you watched our vlog, we did a vlog. I did a vlog, and she hung out with me. Fortunately, we did a couple car meets. Audio's important. It was fun, but
it was just windy. There was nothing you could do about that.
It was windy.
It was very windy.
But we're going to talk about that.
And cold.
Freezing. But we wanted to talk. We're going to re-record that podcast because I think it was a really cool podcast.
Yeah.
But we also wanted to do I did a day in a life podcast, and we kind of wanted to do a week in a life because we had kind of an interesting week, and we promised to talk about meats. We mentioned that we were going to talk about meat, so we figured make it a topic for conversation. Mm-hmm. If you haven't gone to watch our other podcast, I'll have them linked in the description below. And if you haven't watched the 2 meats in one day in a life, I'll link that in the description below too. After this video, go watch it because it's relatively entertaining. Just bear with the audio.
It is entertaining. It
was fun, right?
I liked it.
It was a good day. Mm-hmm. Interesting experience that we had this week. We had a family friend came in. Melanie, we love you. Thank you for coming. Did she watch the videos?
She has.
She better. Yeah. Melanie, you better be watching this.
She has.
She rented a Tesla.
It was very interesting.
Tell me y'all experience about the Tesla. How do you feel about electric cars now, experiencing it for the better part of a week?
It was so much cool technology and a cheap white car. Everything in it was just cheap and the wood in it. I was just oh, this is awful. But it was the screen and everything. It was just it was a Model 3. I think it was probably the base of base because it didn't have that big
performance.
Screen. Yeah, it didn't have that huge long screen. It had a normal rectangle, pretty normal looking screen.
I think that's the screen.
But it was weird because there was no dash.
No dash.
It was just one screen in the middle.
Right.
Middle where it's
I have been in a few Teslas before, so it wasn't that surprising for me, but I know it was the first time.
Yeah.
Did you get a chance to drive it?
No.
Really?
No, I was.
You didn't want to?
No. It was a rental, so I was yeah.
I will have to say, I've been in a few electric cars. They are amazing. The performance is actually it's shocking, right?
It's so smooth.
Yeah, it's shocking.
It was so smooth. The acceleration, I'm you had 90?
Yeah. It runs
that fast.
But the interesting thing is, for me personally, I find they all feel the same. Even though it's once
really?
you get past the whole, wow, this is really the torque,
it's
the
cool. Instant. And it's smooth too. It's not
no.
It's very smooth.
But after that, they I think when you'll find in even a Plaid, it's multiplied. That initial kick is obviously faster. But
quicker.
After that, there's not much more there. They all understeer really bad. You will never see somebody stepping on it in a turn.
Yeah, I could tell that was just not.
You turn, wait till it's straight, and then you mash it. Right. Mm-hmm. That's the one thing I will say about them. I know they are here to stay.
Oh yeah.
And I thought about buying one. I actually did. I think the Model X. There's some cool redeeming stuff about that. There's a few different SUVs that have come out that are interesting to me. Mm-hmm. That as a family car, I could see somebody. If you have a kind of soccer mom vibes, or you live in a neighborhood where they have the golf carts, I could see having one. I'm not gonna road trip it, but
no.
Speaking of road trip it,
no, the charging,
range anxiety.
Woo,
what was that like?
Woo. So, the place she had rented it from, basically they have supercharging stations for Tesla. I'm pretty sure most people know that. To charge them faster, you have a charger at home, if most people do, but to charge them in 30 minutes, there's supercharging stations, and you have to have a card linked to your car, a credit card linked to the car in order to use it. And if you don't have one, it blocks you from all superchargers. So the rental company didn't do that, and we drove around we went to 3 in total around Houston.
The regular chargers or what are these
superchargers? Right. And it was so funny when you pull up, it looks like a little Tesla because everybody's backed in, everybody's just laid in, looking at the non-existent stars from pollution, or people came and they had something to do, which I thought was really interesting.
They're ready.
Yeah, people knew they're I'm going to sit here for 30 minutes and I'm going to charge my car and I'm going to do something.
Be productive.
Yeah, if not, everybody had their seat laid all the way back, just looking through the panoramic.
So I have 2 friends in Tennessee, Kevin and Selena. I don't think they watched the video. Shame on them. But they have Teslas and they road trip their Tesla.
I would
They
be really
moved
scared
to Tennessee and they did multiple trips while they were building their house,
I would actually be scared.
but they had it figured out. Like, I guess Tesla actually has some logic in it too, where it will tell you where you are, where's the next supercharge station. Like, it'll basically guide you.
When we put in the GPS to go to the Galleria, it told us like an estimation of where our battery would be. Right next to how long it would take. So by the time you get here, your battery will be at this percent. She's like, okay, you can kind of map out when you need to go charge. And she didn't want to let it go below like 70% because she was scared. And it got to like 39 because we couldn't find anything. I was like, let's just go home and call the rental company in the morning.
She's like,
just losing it. Yeah.
Really funny, bro. But I can see like if it's your first experience.
Yeah, she never had one either.
With an electric car, you're like, because it's a foreign feeling, like not being able to just pull up to a random pump.
Right.
2 minutes later, let's not exaggerate. 7 minutes later, you just pull off, right?
Pretty much.
It's different.
Yeah. You gotta like map it out, go look. And they're not that many. Like there's a lot. We live in Houston.
But
they're not like gas stations. Yeah, we live in Houston, so there are a lot. But they're all like
gas stations.
They're not like gas stations where you can find one every single block. And I imagine they probably will become that over years. Or just find in general charging stations, like, But it was kind of like you have to plan it out. You do have to like plan like I'm gonna go at this percent, and it tells you too like go charge, go charge.
Most owners, I shouldn't say most owners. I would assume that if you own one, you probably have a 110 charger in your garage at home or something like that. Might have. I'm pretty sure people can have like a 220. I don't know what.
I know most people do have one at home.
Yeah, where they can plug in overnight.
But yeah, those take hours.
Yeah, but
I'm saying if you're just out and you're renting it, it was a little stressful. But I liked it. I think it was pretty cool in the end. Would I get one? I don't know. Maybe not that one.
I don't think it would be my primary car.
No. And the range was not that good, to be honest. She had to charge it once every day.
An insane person. Oh, really? She chilled out?
No. She was chilling. She only really like hit it just to be like, look how fast it accelerates. Right. But she wasn't driving like a maniac. I mean, doing like normal speed limits, maybe 5 over on the highway. Okay. Because, she's not familiar with the area, so.
That's true.
Kind of chilling.
True. I mean, there's some like
it's
the
like 250 maybe?
The Taycan, whatever it is. Like I could see, like if I lived in the city.
It was nice.
And it was like a city car.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I could have not my primary. Like I would definitely still have a
out here
internal combustion, but like living in the burbs, bro. I see people do it. And I'm
There's one in the Katy area, and it's 6 miles from us.
One. Oh, you said a supercharger?
I'm sorry, supercharger. No.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, you always have one at home, but I'm saying like a supercharger charge up in like 20-30 minutes. There's one in the Katy area.
Yeah. Shout out to everybody that have them though. Like I think it's a cool. I would not mind having one of my cars being an electric car because I think they're cool. Yeah, I don't hate it. It has a coolness factor to it. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I agree. It makes weird noises when it backs up. It sounds like a little spaceship. Yeah, that's what it sounds like. It sounds exactly like that.
I'm sure you can change it, but that was pretty funny.
It's funny, yeah.
But that was a cool like little car experience. So I drove it and I was like, yeah, they really all kind of feel the same, but it's still like. Wow. And then I took her for a ride in an M4.
Oh, she was scared for her life. She kept saying it. She's like,
I never drive it like that either. I was like, she was like, oh, this. She kept talking about this Tesla. So I did what we would call a 50 roll, second gear 50 roll.
She told me she was
scared.
And
I did a third gear 60 roll on like my regular tires, and they were cold, so the car was just with traction partially on. MDM was off, but traction was still on. I wouldn't do cold tires without traction because then. We would be making a whole different podcast.
Asking for issues.
We wanted to talk a little bit about meets too, though. Like I mentioned, we went to 2 meets, right? And one of the things I wanted to talk about for the people that don't, like the layman, I keep using that term. Like they like cars, they're car adjacent, but they're not in the game. Right. How would you describe a meet? A car meet? Just.
I would say first and foremost, it's informal.
Super.
So I think when you go to shows, it's like you paying. It's a lot more stressful, at least from what I've seen, going.
I be stressing.
It's a lot more stressful, towing in stuff. Even if you're not towing it, if you drive it there, you got to wash it again because you washed it before.
It's a process.
But meets are like, wash a car or don't. Pull up, maybe wipe some things off and just talk to people. It's really chill. Yeah. And just go walk around.
Yeah, I feel like
No
it's
stress.
the core of the car culture. I'll
Yeah.
reminisce here for 1 second.
Yeah.
My dad, growing up in Maryland, my dad is a car nut. Like, I'll never reach his levels of like interesting cars. And he kind of fostered the interesting cars in me, obviously. But there was a lot of different spots that you could go to in Maryland. And he always liked to go to this place called Northern Parkway. And Northern Parkway was crazy. It was interesting. Like looking back, I'm like, my dad was really, really cool. You never think your dad's cool until you become a dad. You're like, nah, my dad was actually super cool. It was like a street racing spot.
Yeah, I know.
But it was
I've
also
seen it.
like a car show too. Like, so everybody
It's
in,
very strict.
yeah. And we would go to Glen Burnie. We would go out. I mean, there's a bunch of spots. And he knew these spots and he would take his, geeky, nerdy little 13, 12, 9-year-old son. And we would just go out and you park your car. Usually you have a car that's somewhat semi kind of cool or interesting. And, you pull up and you just talk to people, fellow enthusiasts. As weird as that may seem. And I don't know, there may be other hobbies that are like that. Probably. I'm just not in the mix with those hobbies. But it's really, to me, it's unique to the car world in the fact that every day of the week, especially in a large city like Houston, there's a car meet.
Yeah.
And it is like these subcultures, right? So I kind of came into the Houston car game with BMWs. That's when I really started coming outside, as I like to say. Yeah. And there's a bunch of BMW guys you can hang with. And there's old school BMWs, there's new school BMWs, there's like the purists, there's the people that modify, there's the people that race where it's not quite legal and people that may race where it is very legal. Like Mexico. And then that happens among all, like you got the Mustangs, you got the Mopars, you got the track racers, the drifters, the grip racers, the people that do illegal activities, the people that are, then you have the supercars, the exotic cars. And then like Tristan said, you have the car shows. Yeah. I think all of those people go to meets. Yeah. Right? Yep. What are some things in your mind that make a meet worth attending?
Variety. Because
I wasn't expecting it. Okay. Yeah.
In a show, as it should be, you have to kind of meet certain qualifications. Like
to get in.
Bumpers cannot be falling apart.
Yeah, it has to be a show car.
All the body panels need to be, it needs to be show worthy. And there's some cars that might fall just below that level that don't get in. And it's nice to see those cars at meets. Because sometimes, as many shows as we went to the past couple of years, we just started seeing like a lot of people because they had show cars and their cars were up to what they needed to be for a show. So I started seeing a lot of the same cars. But you go to meets and I'm like, oh my goodness, I haven't seen this SC. I've never seen the SC in person other than like the first drift show that I went to or drift event that I went to.
But the first show SC you saw was at the show, right?
Yeah, it was at a show.
Yeah. But
other than that, that was it for like a couple months until last week when we went to the meet.
Yeah. I wouldn't say variety.
There's variety.
That's cool answers.
Think
that's
about
why I
last
asked
week.
her stuff,
people coming in and coming out.
Yeah.
Definitely like, when do you see an LS460 at a show?
That 460.
You usually see like an RCF or LC 500 or older Lexuses.
Right.
That was it looked really good.
It looked super good.
I would have never.
The LS, was it a 430 and a 460? 430
right? And a 460.
The silver one was the 460. The black one was the 430. Am I getting that right? So whatever. Whatever.
Black one, the 460 was black.
Whoever you guys are, hopefully y'all. I know y'all follow me on Instagram. I follow back. Hopefully y'all watch the YouTube, man. We really liked y'all cars, man. Them big bodies, they were clean.
They look good. I was like, I just remember the LS460. I'm like, wow, I've never seen like anybody modify an LS460 because they're new. Yeah. New. And I've never seen one at a show. It's usually like LS400s at a show. Or 430s.
I think what makes a meet good to me is like the casual nature. Like I enjoy, I think there's so much stress that comes with the show and some politics sometimes and all that kind of stuff. And I think, even though I think, like she says, like you could wind up being family with show people because you really show with all the same people pretty much all the time.
I
like
you're on
the show circuit, right?
Like
when I pull up,
good chunk.
You know what I mean? There's like 30 cars. They're like, oh, Plain Jane, blah blah. You know what I mean? Like they hang with each other. We all we kind of know each other. I would say in a Texas circuit. You know what I mean? Not to exaggerate, but I think it's a little bit of a show circuit between Austin, San Antonio,
and Houston,
a little bit of Dallas, but Austin and Houston.
Dallas is a little far.
Correct.
Dallas is
and
a little far.
And I think that's a different mix,
it's
right?
different.
I think they'll come to Austin. You'll get some of their cars down to Austin. Like
probably, maybe. That's like 3 hours.
Ghost Unlimited, that white Mustang.
Oh yeah, I will never forget. Yeah,
I think he a Dallas
amazing.
guy.
Oh,
He don't
really?
watch my videos, but that car is crazy.
not-
I love his
yeah,
car.
I know.
But he
I
comes
remember.
to the Austin shows. But anyway, I want to talk about meets, not about shows. But it's like the casual nature of meets are what I really enjoy. And there are people that attend shows
Right.
that don't attend meets. And I'm just
That is
saying,
correct.
like, people that are enthusiasts that may not have what other people would define as a cool car, but they love cars.
Right.
So it doesn't cost them to get in.
Right.
They just pull up, they park a little bit further away.
Yep.
And the conversations that I have at meets, I enjoy all conversations, but I'm going to be honest.
I was gonna say, don't lie.
I'm going to be real. There's this thing at car shows, which I don't mind and I get. But car shows, people look at your car and they judge it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
Like it's, I don't use this word, but I don't have a better word to describe it. People look at you. I'm not going to use that word. People look at your car critically.
Yes.
They instantly look at your car and they're like, "Oh, look, it has a scratch." Or look, they pick your car apart.
Yeah.
Which they should, because you have the audacity
To bring it
to have it
to
at a
the
show.
People paid to get in, so yeah.
Whereas at a meet, people are like, "I love your car." And not
Yeah.
that doesn't happen at shows. It
Yeah,
just
they're like,
happens.
so what's this?
Yeah.
Where'd you get this from?
Yeah.
I really like this. Maybe I'll do this. Yeah.
That part of it I enjoy.
It's a little bit more, I don't know. Yeah, I like it.
That's what I like about meets.
Yeah.
What's something that you don't like about meets?
I think sometimes like it could just get a little excessive with like if people like one person revs. This is at shows too.
It happens
It's
at
more annoying at shows.
It's
I feel like than
way
it
worse
is
at shows.
because you're in a
Well,
building.
finish your thought. Finish your thought.
But when one person revs and then it just starts getting out of hand,
It's so irritating.
especially when it's like fun. And if it's like a bigger meet, like last week, the second meet we went to was huge.
It was
So if
huge.
one person revved there, I would have been like, all right,
Time to go.
I'm going home. I'm going
Time to
home
go.
now.
It's
Other than that,
triggering.
though,
It's a little
usually-
triggering, right?
Yeah. Because it's just, yeah.
So I'll use a word that
Shows
I
are
don't
definitely
like.
worse when that happens though.
It is.
Inside
'Cause
the
what I would say
building,
is
like-
everybody at the show, I would say
It's already
80% of the car,
echoing, y'all, when
but
you start your
80% of
car.
the people at the show actually have like a nice exhaust.
That's
or
not the
like-
point.
Yeah, but
It's echoing in a building.
It's stupid.
It's
I agree.
echoing. It's
But I've
when you
done it.
start it just to leave because we always be there to
Yeah.
leave. It's already echoing this giant building. Like we went to NRG, it's already echoing.
yeah.
And then somebody in a scat pack revs.
It's like, why?
I'm like, please.
Why, bro?
It may sound good, but it's already loud and it's echoing. And
You
I'm
don't
like,
have to.
my ears are bleeding. And everybody's already irritated that's been there because they've been there from
12
10
hours.
to 7.
Yeah, it's crazy. We talk about meets though. Let's not keep talking about shows. I think while we're talking about shows, because we spend a lot more of our time in car stuff at shows because I prefer the show. You know what I mean? I'm not really a meet guy. But there are some, and I want to name some names. I'm going to miss some people, but there's a few people that do meets here in Houston that I want to shout out
That we went to
when
last
we
week.
get to the end of this segment. But I will say what I don't like about meets is the same thing that you don't like about it, but I'll be less specific. I'm going to go maybe 10,000 feet, not 30,000, 10,000 feet, cloud chasing.
Yeah.
This is cloud chasing, which I totally understand cloud chasing. Like I am a cloud chaser to an extent, right? I show my car. I have a public profile on Instagram like that.
Right.
I'm not saying that but I think there's tasteful, respectful cloud chasing. And then there's like the thirst trap.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
when they start thirst trapping at a meet and you can Google what that is, it just gets irritating. Like revving is some of it, doing burnouts. And I think there are meets where that is the subject, the
Two-stepping.
object, and that's okay, right?
No, like at a show, like it's stuff like that, they'll have two-step
They
competitions or
and that's
limbo.
cool.
That's
I like
fine.
that.
It's dedicated. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
cool.
I like that.
to watch it. I
I
watch it.
always watch it. I
Yeah.
think it's really, really cool. As
It's
much as
like,
my eardrums can.
yo,
And two-stepping is where people rev their exhaust and the timing is retarded, so it shoots flames and makes all these. It's like fireworks shooting out of the tailpipe. That's what two-stepping is. But car shows, Clean Culture, who are family.
They'll have a
Nick, shout out to
dedicated
you.
time.
We always appreciate the love that you show under pressure. We always support them. We always support. I mean, it's all the shows that we support, but Clean Culture definitely shows love, so we appreciate them.
Yeah.
It's cloud chasing. Doing major, big, fat pulls when you leave.
Oh yeah. Sometimes I'm like, yo,
Now let me say this. So 'cause I'm-
I-10 is right there. Can you stop?
Right.
And there's like in the morning, like cars got. I'm like, that's so dangerous.
I do a pull,
That's so dangerous.
but I'm nowhere near the show.
No.
Like once I pull out of the
turn
meet,
out,
it's like a
car
block.
is straight, and I need to be gone.
Yeah, I'll be a
I
block
don't want to
away.
see any phones, humans near me.
Then I'll grab a gear. Yeah, because
you can still. Dangerous. It's not like nobody can hear your car a mile away.
Even my little weed whacker,
people can hear you
for sure.
They'll hear you. Don't worry.
So to name some names: Eat Sleep Car Meat. So ESCM. I'm going to support them.
Yeah,
their meat was like. It was, and I know they're not going to do things that big because I know they do like tea house meats more often. But it was super cool. Andrew, I told you while I was there, I appreciated it. It was just well put together. Vendors, good food. You can, when the vibe is right, even the clout chasers know. Because the vibe's different. Like
people were chill there.
This is not the meet where we're going to do burnouts. It's not the meet where we're going to do revving. It's not the meets where we're going to hit an innocent bystander. We're not going to stand in the middle of the street and watch people pull out.
Especially there's not even a...
Doing sins, I think it's called send. S-E-N-D.
Oh, yeah, send it, yeah.
Sending it.
Yeah.
Which I think that's temporary. I don't think that's going to be a long-term thing. I do agree with sending it, though, but do it safely.
Yeah.
Safely.
100%.
And another one, Neo meets Chris. And Chris supports Under Pressure, too, on a local level, and he's grown significantly. I love his meets. He does a really, really, really good job. And I think I would put him at Eat Sleep Car Meets level. I think he brings out a little bit different crowd, but he brings out show cars. I know the EVS guy supports the Neo Meets. He does a really, really good job. I enjoyed it. Houston Whips is another one. Now, Houston Whips, they do a really good job. I have been to a meet or two where I was like, okay, I'm a little nervous here, right?
Oh, really?
But I went to one, it was a local one, and she came up to me. She's like, bro, come to my next one. I'm having police. You know this is not my style. And I appreciated that. Not that I'm anybody. I'm not saying I'm anybody, but I'm old. And I'm not trying to be in all that energy. It's too much.
Yeah.
It's too much. When people are doing burnouts in the parking lot, it's just...
And then you have to have police there. I'm like,
I don't want to be where police have to be, but if they have police, it keeps people from acting stupid. So I'm fine with the police being there.
True. Just sit there with the lights on or something.
Probably not there as long.
Yeah, I would probably be gone pretty fast. Hello, bye.
Out. So we're talking about meats really because I feel like I want to support meats more. And the reason being is one of the things I noticed is a lot of guys that I respect their cars. Like they're really, really nice cars. Oh, one other person I want to mention, I don't want to forget about him. They have really, really nice cars. They tend not to bring them out because meats have gotten a bad name.
We talked about this in the car ride.
Which really affects the image of the Houston car culture.
People my age doing stupid stuff because older people, they're like, well, I don't want to be around this.
Not gonna be around the nonsense.
But like, I don't know who you were talking to at the meet before, but he was saying like, I want to show
Mr. Rogers. Shout out to DJ. He don't watch this, but I'm cool with DJ Mr. Rogers.
Yeah, and the shop owner, he was saying like, I bring my car here so I can show kids how to do a proper build. I'm like, how about you do that? Because if you don't, they're just going to learn like you did, do stupid stuff, and then wait until they get in their 30s to have any sense. And there's no point because it just continues to be stupid. It keeps getting a bad car rep, and then there's going to be more restrictions. Yeah.
DJ Mr. Rogers just pulled. I was going to the meet anyway, and he's hit me up a few times like, man, come out. And he's just like, bro, I love when you bring your car out. He's like, because people don't get to see cars like this at meets like this.
Yeah,
because they need to see a car like this fully done. And I was like, I was like, but he's like, nah, I understand. He's like, but it's cool when, and he's one of those people. Tell me he's actually famous. You know what I mean? And he brings out multiple cars.
Right.
And I said, I agree. Like there is some balance that needs to be there, but you can't change things without being involved in them.
Correct. Yeah, you're gonna complain about them. I'm like, so what are you doing with your build sitting in the garage for the past 6 months?
Right.
What are you even talking about?
And that's what she says.
You have no credibility to me at that point.
That's right. She's like, bring your car out. And I'm like, well, I don't need to bring the car out. I don't care.
Bro.
But it is appreciated when people like the car. And I've never, like I said, I think I said this, probably the one that didn't get recorded, but I was like, I've never had somebody walk up to us and say, oh, that car is ugly. Like people are like, wow, this car is, and my car is the touch me car. Like people, because I think it's so weird with the forged chopped carbon, whatever you want to call it, especially the seats. People like grab the seats as if it's gonna feel different than
like no, it's
plastic.
hard.
Yeah,
it's hard. Yeah.
But yeah, we're going to support meets more frequently, maybe even once a month. And I've been toying with the idea of doing, kind of like a car show mega meet where we do like collaborator, like YouTube collaborators, and some of the bigger brands out there doing something like on a scale, because it bothered me a little bit that DJ Envy, a New York dude who is huge, could come to Houston and bring out every heavy hitter, including a lightweight like me.
Right.
And I saw how many non-car people showed up. I'm like, well,
most of the people there, I'm like,
never been to a car show.
We
can do that on our own. And I said that to DJ Mr. Rogers, and there's a few other people that are car, the Slim Thug. I mean, it's a lot of people in Houston that's heavy in the car. Well, we gotta do that. And when some New York dude, and I'm gonna say us, call us out, like, nah, we should do that once regularly. A year, maybe.
Yeah.
Trade the Truth.
That'd be cool.
Bun. All of them. Like, come on. And all of us, like the Apocalypse guys. Like, I'm not going to go through the list of people, but there's a lot of teams that show up 5-star. Like Houston car culture is not on the map because of the way we act on all levels. And I don't want to be critical, but I'm saying us that have really, really nice cars, or the supercar guys, the exotic car, it comes across that way. It comes across that way, and there's not a lot of support.
Across that way because they are that way.
Because it is that way. Yeah, you're right. I don't want to be controversial. I don't want people. I hate Plain Jane. Like, I'm not trying to be.
That's what it is.
But I feel that way. These are my feelings. I'm like, well, I'm gonna be a part of it, and I'm gonna show up, and I'm gonna support, and come out more often when I can, obviously, to support the culture because I like it. One other person I want to meet, Tony Sanchez, the car culture is the name of his meets. He does them. He does it at like one over at La Centera in Katy, which is far from us, one in Pearland, and one in like Upper Kirby area. Oh, wow. Marketplace, I think it's called. He does some. It's just I can never go. And he brings out a good mix. It's a morning show, and you never get nonsense at the morning shows. This is like 9 a.m. on Saturdays. Like, everybody's kind of like, it's more of a cars and coffee kind of vibe, but even more chill than that.
That's cool.
People be sending it, but... So let's talk about one thing I want to talk about before we sign off for this wonderful episode of Plain Jane Cars Podcast is vlogging.
Yeah.
I hate vlogging.
I thought it was interesting.
I wanted to put my heart into that last vlog, but I just, one of the things that's challenging about vlogging is audio. If you watch all the car vloggers, like the guys, I'm not going to name them, there's actually my first podcast, I was switching to this style of content. I went through my favorite YouTube channels. Yeah. They all do it in a controlled environment. You ever notice that?
Yeah.
It's because of audio.
Yeah, I know. Just walking around outside with the camera is just not going to work.
It's impossible.
Yeah.
It's impossible.
You change angles, just like the wind is crazy. You turn back, you're missing whatever's going on that you wanted to record.
It's impossible. And what the viewer may not know, like, you may watch like Stradman, you may watch Daily Driven Exotic, whoever, right? Even Cletus McFarlane, all of them vlog in a controlled environment.
I see. Yeah.
Because it's impossible to vlog in an uncontrolled. I mean, not impossible. And then, like, as soon as I edited and uploaded the video, it was restricted immediately because of the music that was playing at the show. Oh, right? You get copywritten and you get restricted in certain countries, and it's like, So I really like vlogging. And what we're gonna do, and I mentioned this in previous videos, she was like seriously shopping for a car to build. It's time for me to build something else too, and I'm just all over the place. But I'm gonna do something.
Budget build.
Next 6 weeks. And we'll vlog that because I enjoy vlogging.
It'll be fun. I don't even know what it is, so I'm not gonna lie. I don't know what he's talking about. I'm having my car. I don't know what he's doing. Well, so it'll be a surprise for all of us. It
will be a surprise. And I think one of the things, let me know if you guys think this is interesting. I think I'm gonna do it from shopping to like pre-purchase inspection to picking it up, delivery, wherever we gotta fly somewhere, however we gotta do it. Just making kind of like a Plain Jane car shopping series. Yeah. I'll Plain Jane cars everything. I Plain Jane cars ramen noodles. Brand it all.
If you could.
I would. And we finally are booking guests. We have a couple people lined up. Those should be coming out in the month of March-ish, mid-March maybe.